The National Action Plan on Human Trafficking 2022 to 2026 was designed by NAPTIP to serve as a national blueprint to guide all interventions on combating human trafficking in Nigeria. Recently, NAPTIP convened a high-level meeting of heads of relevant organizations and stakeholders to present the National Action Plan. You're watching NAPTIP on the Move. My name is Angela Agwegi. It's great to have you with us. This episode will enlighten you on the National Action Plan and also bring you clips from the meeting for heads of ministries, departments, agencies and stakeholders. Stay with NAPTIP on the Move.
First developed in 2009 as the National Plan of Action on Human Trafficking 2009 to 2012, the document then set the benchmark for interventions by all stakeholders in Nigeria in the fight against human trafficking and also assigned roles and responsibilities to all actors in anti-trafficking operations. Having expired in 2012, a new National Action Plan on Human Trafficking was designed to serve as a national blueprint to guide all interventions in combating human trafficking in Nigeria. This document was presented to the Federal Executive Council by the Honorable Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Hajia Sadia Umar Farouk, for approval. On the 23rd of February 2022, the National Action Plan was approved by the Federal Executive Council and presented to the public during the agency's 25th National Stakeholders Consultative Forum on Human Trafficking. Just recently, NAPTIP, with support from the International Organization for Migration, organized a meeting on the presentation of the National Action Plan on Human Trafficking to the heads of relevant ministries, departments, agencies and other stakeholders. The Director General of NAPTIP, Dr. Fatima Waziri Azi, welcomed all present.
It is with utmost delight that I, on behalf of the management and officers of the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, welcome you all to this high-level meeting, which is specifically organized to present the National Action Plan on Human Trafficking in Nigeria 2022 to 2026 to all heads of relevant ministries, departments and agencies, as well as stakeholders that have a role to play to ensure the collaborative and successful implementation of the National Action Plan for the next 5 years. It is important for all duty-bearing organizations to understand what they need to do, how to do them, and basically fully appreciate their role in the National Action Plan. Face-to-face interaction is certainly key for future collaborations. And let me also thank the International Organization for Migration and the government of the Netherlands for supporting today's meeting. In addition, the development and finalization of the National Action Plan was made possible with the generous financial support from the government of Switzerland and technical assistance from UNODC. You will agree with me that the most assertive need of every nation, especially in third world economies, is the search for economic stability, well-being of her people, and the continuous quest for the attainment of human security. It has been the compelling narrative for the persistent emphasis on the strengthening of the social justice system in any country. With Nigeria, one of the greatest contemporary crises is the challenge of human trafficking, migrant smuggling, and irregular migration, which has remained a source of threat to international, national, and human security.
She then chronicled the achievements of the previous National Plan of Action and then spoke on the provision of the new National Action Plan.
Implementing the first National Action Plan on Human Trafficking provided the structure for a coordinated response to human trafficking in Nigeria, which has led to many collective achievements recorded by Nigeria over the years. A few of these achievements include the incremental establishment of state task force in 22 states, in collaboration with state governors and partners. The recent signing of bilateral agreements to prevent, suppress, and punish trafficking in persons, especially women and children, between Nigeria and the Republic of Ivory Coast and Burkina Faso, and Memorandum of Understanding with the Republic of Niger, and the latest with Republic of the Gambia. In November 2021, stakeholders validated the first draft of the National Action Plan at the third stakeholders 3-day workshop, which was held in Kefi, Nasarawa State. The National Action Plan is divided into 5 strategic pillars: prevention, research and assessment, protection and assistance, prosecution and access to justice, and partnership and coordination. These components feature unique contents and actions that relate to the various mandates of all relevant MDAs. I must emphasize here that each stakeholder has a unique role to play in the implementation process, either as a lead or a collaborating agency. The National Action Plan is a living document because some activities had already been activated before the NAP was approved by FEC, and more successes have been recorded since its approval. One of such is the unprecedented model of cooperation in the execution of the bootcamp peer review meetings for state task force members. The effective implementation of this plan requires the collective focus and support of everyone. We can only succeed if we see the problem of human trafficking and migrant smuggling as our collective problem, not as the problem of NAPTIP or the problem of Nigeria Immigration Service or the problem of NACTAL, but as our collective problem. Only then will we make meaningful traction in this fight of humongous proportion. Let me once again impress on us all to strive to achieve the very essence of the National Action Plan. Together, we are stronger, always.
Stakeholders present, including security agencies, sister organizations, civil society and partners, delivered goodwill messages.
IOM operates from the outset that trafficking in persons needs to be approached within the overall context of managing migration for the benefit of all. As IOM, we recognize that human trafficking requires a multifaceted approach, and we are committed to support the operationalization of the NAP, which is anchored on the 5 pillars, which we all know, of course: protection and assistance, prevention, data, prosecution, partnerships, and coordination. We will continue as IOM to support the implementation of the NAP by improving the standard of existing shelters, improve referral pathways, and support the operationalization of the NRM and implementation of the National Policy on Protection and Assistance to Trafficked Persons, improve the process of identification and facilitate access to rehabilitation and reintegration services. IOM pledges to continue to support the Nigerian government in combating human trafficking with an ever-increasing emphasis on building sustainable systems and mechanisms.
I want to congratulate NAPTIP and all the stakeholders that made possible that today we have the National Action Plan on TIP, because as we understand and as this is explained, this is not a NAPTIP document, but a national document. Within the project that FIAP is implementing here in Nigeria, which is, as I always say, is a pure capacity building project with which we are supporting to reinforce the capacities of the agencies that we are working with, for those agencies to improve in the performance of their mandate. We are making sure that our planning for next year is fully and completely aligned to the NAP, because we don't implement our project, we are implementing a Nigerian project.
This meeting is really a great example of how to do things right, and I want to congratulate all on this initiative. This is the way of how you breathe life into the action plan. This is how you keep momentum and you create momentum and you see effects coming through in the achievement of results. It is also our clear intent to align our actions, our plans with the National Action Plan, and as such we have chosen for UNODC, in alignment with the plan and of course subject to further guidance that we will receive through this meeting, 4 key areas of intervention. They have been captured in our strategic vision for Nigeria and were developed already at the stage of the development of the action plan in alignment with the action plan. They are, of course, first and foremost actually the implementation of the plan itself in terms of its coordination, its monitoring, its evaluation. That will be one of our key activities going forward over the next 5 years. So again, my congratulations to everyone, and in particular the Director General of NAPTIP on what has been achieved so far, and my assurances that we will continue to stand with you in the fight against human trafficking.
The representative of the Honorable Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development delivered the keynote address.
This is an important forum that brings together key actors in Nigeria with the collective goal of mitigating the heinous crime of human trafficking in Nigeria. I must commend the DG and management and officers of NAPTIP for setting necessary machineries in motion, leading to the conceptualization, development, review, and finalization of this National Action Plan. You will agree with me that Nigeria currently enjoys a pride of place in the Committee of Nations as a model in combating human trafficking. This second edition of the National Action Plan on Human Trafficking is a part of the federal government's comprehensive strategy to stamp out human trafficking through a well-coordinated implementation of all anti-trafficking interventions in Nigeria. This policy document could not have come at a better time than now, when the country is facing a number of social, humanitarian, and developmental issues. My ministry has risen to the challenges of delivering on its core mandate of developing humanitarian policies and providing effective coordination of national and international humanitarian interventions, ensuring strategic disaster mitigation, preparedness, and response, and managing the formulation and implementation of fair, focused social inclusion and the protection programs in Nigeria. Let me conclude by appreciating everyone here present and the various organizations they represent, and also urge us all to strive to work together, for there lies our strength to holistically confront this ugly phenomenon.
A presentation on objectives and expected outcomes of the meeting was made by Olusayo Lubi, Director, Research and Program Development of NAPTIP, while Festus Gav, NAPTIP Assistant Director, Research and Program Development, made a presentation on the overview of the National Action Plan, update on implementation, highlighting activities carried out so far and milestones. The presentation on the responsibilities of duty-bearing agencies by the Director, Program, Research and Development was followed by an interactive session. Next was the presentation and adoption of the communique. Then the technical session began in earnest with the presentation of the National Action Plan Financing Strategy by Sunday Oloyede, NAPTIP Acting Director of Finance and Accounts, as well as stock-taking of the National Action Plan implementation facilitated by officials of NAPTIP, IOM and UNODC. The meeting, which had in attendance representatives from over 40 ministries, departments, agencies, partners and civil society organizations, is a step in the right direction towards the full and effective implementation of the National Action Plan 2022 to 2026. Have you been promised a job here in Nigeria or abroad? What about offers of free education or enrollment in a foreign football club? Please do your research. These are some of the antics of human traffickers. Human trafficking is modern-day slavery. It entails forced labor, sex trafficking and organ harvesting. Its consequences have devastating psychological effects such as depression, anxiety, memory loss, severe forms of mental trauma and death. Well, NAPTIP is working tirelessly to ensure protection of victims and speedy prosecution of offenders. Are you a victim? Waste no time. Call NAPTIP now on 0703 0000 203 or the toll-free short code 627. NAPTIP, ensuring a human trafficking and violence-free nation.
The Ambassador of Netherlands to Nigeria, Von der Plum, recently paid a visit to the Director General of NAPTIP, Dr. Fatima Waziri Azi. Stating the purpose of the visit, which is to strengthen collaboration with the agency, he commended Dr. Waziri Azi for her strategic, result-oriented leadership and the giant strides made so far in combating human trafficking, especially in the prosecution of offenders. The Director General of NAPTIP thanked the Kingdom of Netherlands for their support and reiterated that the agency won't relent in ensuring the fulfillment of its mandate. The Embassy of the Federal Republic of Germany recently donated desktop computers and other accessories to NAPTIP. Jan Ritterhoff, German police liaison officer who made the presentation, said that the donation is part of the embassy's support in the fight against human trafficking in Nigeria. The Director General of NAPTIP, Dr. Fatima Waziri Azi, thanked the German embassy for its consistent support and assured that the items donated will be judiciously utilized. Officials of the Kogi State Office of the Public Defender and Citizens' Rights Commission, PDCRC, recently paid a courtesy visit to the Director General of NAPTIP, Dr. Fatima Waziri Azi. The team was led by the Director General, Abdullahi Zakari.
We are here for a study tour of the activities of VAP. 22nd June, the state government signed it to law. The governor assented to the bill on VAP. It became law. And the commission had the privilege of having it domiciled with us for the purpose of implementation. Kogi State Office of the Public Defender is an agency of the Kogi State government created by law. Their functions, what we are supposed to do is also given by law. We established in 2019. We started active operations in 2020 at the peak of COVID-19, but I think we have been able to make a little mark. And then we are an agency that is very strictly responsible for providing access to justice. We are also the state agency that provides legal aid. And our legal aid is all-inclusive, includes legal representation in courts, both in civil and in criminal matters, in all courts, from the lower court to the high court at the state level. And then the beneficiary of our operations are indigent, vulnerable residents of the state. I'm usually found in this category persons with limited status in terms of wealth, women and children, and persons living with disabilities. So, upon the adoption of the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Law of Kogi State, we were mandated to enforce the provisions of that law. And then our first line of thought was, it is better to start from those who understand how it works. And I think that is the first basis for why we started thinking of partners that will support us to get to come to your organization, to share your experiences, to share your challenges, to see how we could go forward. And then we also said, okay, this will also be an opportunity to work with NAPTIP and solicit for collaboration and partnership in certain areas that we are working and people are also working. It was initially meant to be a study tour to see you sit down with your staff, but what we got at the end is much more robust than the content that we envisaged, particularly as the resource persons that came from here addressed the issues from both intellectual and practical perspective. It was an eye-opener for us, and we're actually very happy it happened.
Receiving the team, the Director General of NAPTIP highlighted some key areas of focus in the implementation of the VAP Act. She also pledged the agency support and collaboration.
I'm glad with what you said, that the study visit has been very useful, it's been very impactful. So far we've been able to establish state task forces in 22 states. And as of today, we have offices in 29 states, and we operate 13 shelters across the country. When we talk about issues of human trafficking or sexual and gender-based violence, it should be seen as a societal concern. It shouldn't be the problem of Nigeria or the problem of NAPTIP. The first step to take in implementing your VAP law, I think you need to be deliberate about funding. It's no walk in the park. It is tough. Yeah. It's different from handling criminal law cases or civil law cases. Every domestic and sexual and gender-based violence is a potential murder case. So I think everyone should remember that. Handle every case from a survivor's approach. You must have your strategic goals and focus on it. And you must have a vision. Without a vision, you will not have direction, you will not have motivation, you will not have energy. So you have to, work to build that trust. NAPTIP is always here to collaborate. We are always here to, any guidance you need, we are always here to profile.
Concluding the visit, the leader of the team presented some of the publications of his agency to the Director General of NAPTIP, while the Director General in turn presented NAPTIP IEC materials to the delegation. This new partnership with the Kogi State Office of the Public Defender and Citizens' Rights Commission will ensure implementation of the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Law and enhance the fight against SGBV in Kogi State. A 2-year-old girl who was sold by a reverend sister to a family in Benin was rescued by NAPTIP following a report by her family. The management of NAPTIP recently reunited the 2-year-old girl with her family after a meeting at the NAPTIP headquarters in Abuja. The girl, who had been at the NAPTIP shelter for 6 months, was formally handed over to her biological mother by the Director General of NAPTIP, Dr. Fatima Waziri Azi. The Federal High Court in Maiduguri, Borno State, presided over by Honorable Justice Jude Dakat, has sentenced a 34-year-old man, Hassan Adamu, to 10 years imprisonment with a fine of 1 million naira for the procurement and sexual exploitation of a victim, an offence punishable under Section 16, Subsection 1 of the Trafficking in Persons Prohibition, Enforcement and Administration Act 2015, as amended. Before we say goodbye, let's bring you an account of a victim. Don't go away.
I'm 19 years old. I'm from Ebonyi State. I'm here to present my case. I was sold by my uncle. He told me that he's not feeling fine, so I came back from church. I wanted to go and give him food in the hospital. So I entered the car. I told them that I'm going to so place. We agreed. So they were taking me to another place. I asked them, where are they taking me to? They told me that I should shut up, I should keep quiet. So I was trying to fight with them. They injected me, so I slept off. So when I wake up the next morning, I saw myself in a hotel. I was asking the woman, what am I doing here? The woman told me that I've gotten a new business, that here I'm going to have a lot of money. I told her I did not need her money, that I want to go and see my uncle. She told me I should wait, I should not go anywhere. So I was crying. I don't know what to do. So I was there for over 1 week. I run away from there. Through the fence, I run away. And I reported to NAPTIP. So NAPTIP now rescued me from the Human. So I want to advise my fellow girls, if they are going to anywhere, they should not go alone. They should not trust even their own family members. They should be wise and be brave. So I want to say thank you for NAPTIP for rescuing me.
For more inquiries and support, or to report cases of suspected human trafficking, violence against persons and child abuse, please call NAPTIP hotline 0703 0000203 or the short code 627, or email us info@naptip.gov.ng. Visit our website www.naptip.gov.ng. Follow us on our social media platforms at NAPTIP Nigeria, or watch our videos on YouTube.
This is where we draw the curtain on this episode of NAPTIP On The Move. Till I come your way next week, if you see something, say something. Thanks for watching and join us again next week. I'm Angela Agwigi. Bye for now.